Hey Flutter developer, do you have issues on production but can't reproduce the bug, or you wish you can see what's going on the user side? Then we have a great widget for you. It's called feedback. Today we're going to explore how to set it up, how to send the feedback to GitLab, Sentry, server, or anywhere you want. So join me in this coding session where I'll show you how to set everything up and more. If we have a closer look at the feedback package, we can see that it's supported by the community. If you read through the documentation, it supports screenshot sharing with drawing on the screenshot, also sharing text. It's pretty simple to use. We just import the feedback package and wrap our app with better feedback and call the better feedback of context.show, and we will get the result, the user feedback. The user submitted the feedback. If not, it will not be called. It supports sending to GitLab using the feedback GitLab package. It supports sending to Sentry using the Sentry package. And also we can send it anywhere we want. Since we have the data, we can upload it to our server, share it maybe via email or just to social share. We can send it to Firebase, Jira, Trello, as I said, email, and anywhere else we want actually. We can customize how the feedback screen looks. So we can change the background color, the active feedback mode color. So we can set the colors we want the user to be able to use. We can change the sheet color and the bottom sheet description style. We can also change the localization that we want to support. If you want to override localization and set our own, we can do it by implementing the feedback localizations or extending a global feedback localization delegate and passing it to the better feedback localization delegates. If you want to even further enhance the feedback, we can use device info plus or package info plus to get more information about the current status of the device, of the current version of the app, and much more information. So let's add the feedback to the PubSpec YAML and see how we can use it. So the first step is to actually wrap the material app with better feedback. And now we're ready to use the feedback screen. In order to call the feedback screen, we can, for example, when we click the capture feedback button, we can just call better feedback of context and show the feedback. This is the result. Let's just print it for now. We can get the screenshot and the text. Let's print the text, save this, and let's see what happens. If we click capture, the screen for feedback is shown, and it's taking the screenshot of the current screen. So this is not interactable here. We can reset it, clear. And we can change the color. Select another color if you want. For example, and type something here. And if we submit it, we can see in the debug console that it's getting the text back and also the image. Let's pass in the colors that we want the user to be able to use. So we can set the theme, feedback data, theme data, and now we can set the colors that we can see draw colors. We can set the draw colors. Let's set the colors. Let's use red, orange, and green. Let's change the background color. Let's set the feedback sheet color. Set it to blue. Let's set the active feedback mode color to maybe indigo. And now let's see how this looks. Yeah, not the best choice of colors, but yeah, let's stick with that one. Yeah, still works great. Let's change the localization maybe. As we can see, now it's in German. If we don't want to understand what's going on, let's try with some other language like English. Yeah, simple as that. Cool. If you want to send the feedback to GitLab, then we need to use the feedback GitLab package. And we also need to obtain the GitLab project ID and a token. So let's first add the GitLab package to our PubSpec YAML. Save that. So now instead of calling show, we can call show and upload to GitLab. As we see now, it's accepting a project ID and API token. And if you're using organization GitLab account, then we need to also set the GitLab URL. So let's do that. Let's get a project ID. So you need to first sign into your GitLab account. If you don't have a repository already created, please do create a new project. In order to get the project ID, you need to open your project. And here in the corner, we have actions and we can copy the project ID. Now we need to get the access token. In order to get the access token, we need to go to the settings, preferences, and we have access token here. In order to send the feedback to GitLab, as we can see here, it says that we need read API and write repository for the access token. So if we create a new token, yeah, we can change the expiration date if we want, but actually what it only needs from scopes is API scope, nothing else actually. So I will file a pull request there to change the requirements. So let's create a token. We can copy that token and put it here. So let's change the old one and let's do a reload. And let's try now. Let's say that the button is wrong maybe. Now we can submit it and it should appear under the issues tab. So let's track it. Yes, button is wrong. And as we can see here, we get the screenshot with the arrow that we drawn, and the text is actually the issue title itself. We can also send the feedback to the Sentry using the feedback Sentry package. So if we want to use it, we need to put it in the PubSpec YAML. In order for this to work, you need to set up Sentry first. We need to create a new project on Sentry. So let's do that. Select Flutter here, create project. We need to add a Sentry package, and then we need to use this, and then we need to add this line of code that will initialize Sentry. So let's do that. We need to add async, since we want to wait for Sentry to finish initializing. We're almost done. So we need to verify actually that we set up Sentry. So let's do that by trying to force a crash. Instead of calling the feedback here, we'll just send a crash to Sentry so we can throw an exception. Let's say that it's a test so that it can initialize. If we capture feedback, now we should have sent 3 issues. So let's check if we have there any issues. Yeah, so we can see the exception has arrived. And if we go into the logs, yeah, it should contain tests. So we have set up the Sentry project and we're ready to send our issues with the feedback. So let's do that. Make sure to use show and upload to Sentry instead of show and upload to Sentry with exceptions, since this one will not work. It's not generating a valid event ID. So make sure to use this one. If we save it and try now, and let's draw something, and if we submit it, now it will appear with a bit of delay in the issues tab. As we can see, we received the feedback here and the image should be shown here. Now we can get to the good part. Let's create our own server. I prefer using server pods. So let's do that. And let's name the server my awesome server. As we can see, it's creating the folder here. It contains the server Flutter app and the client, which is the bridge between the server and Flutter app. So we can see here simple instructions to set up the server for the first time. Now we launch the Docker instance and we can run the server. We can check in the Docker if the instance is running. As we can see, it's up and running. Great, let's open the server. And now we can go into the lib source endpoints. We can change the example endpoint. Let's remove this code comments. Let's say upload feedback. And we want to get feedback, a string. We want to get back the file name of the image, the extension of the image, and we need also to get the byte data. So we can use byte data, image data. Great. So we don't want to return anything here. In order to save the image to the folder, let's create a new folder here and call it images. We need the full path to it, so let's copy the path. Let's create the instance of the directory to it. Directory, and we can paste the path. We can construct the file by using the directory path, then adding a slash. So we are now entering the directory for images. We want to use the file name dot extension. Yeah, now everything looks fine. We want to get access to the buffer. So let's get it from the images data.buffer. In order to write to the file, we call file.write as bytes, and we get the bytes from the buffer as uint8 list, and we need to pass in the offset in bytes. So we get it from the image data dot offset in bytes, and again image data, we need the length in bytes. So basically this is the code to save the file to the storage. You could also save the feedback to the database, but yeah, we will do it next time. So the server is ready. We need to call server pod generate in order to generate a new endpoint. Yeah, everything is ready now. Cool. We can now switch to the Flutter app. Let's go there. And in the lib folder, we want to replace this code with the already familiar app that we created. So let's open that up. We want to keep the client. We will replace the rest. So let's do that. Yeah, okay. Let's remove everything. Yes. So this. Okay, now we're ready to add the feedback package. Let's put it here. Save. We need to wrap the material app with better feedback. Now you're able to use it. And when we click the button, we call better feedback of context and then show. We will get the result as a user feedback, which we will send to the server in just a sec. looks fine. So what we want to do is call the client dot example dot upload feedback. We can get feedback from the user feedback text. The file name we can generate as user feedback. We could use the email of the user, and we can use the date time now, so that we have a unique name. And the extension is currently PNG. For the image data, or actually byte data, we need to use the byte data dot view. Import it dot view and use the user feedback dot screenshot dot buff. Now, if we save this, now if you take feedback, it should appear in the folder. Let's run on it. And this, we got our first feedback. If you like my content and want to support me, please consider subscribing, liking the videos, and hitting the bell icon so you stay up to date when new videos are released. Thanks, and until next time.